Hi, everybody. I have to add in my guest. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I can't really talk with you guys. I am setting up myself for them because there's two StreamYard going on. All right, let me add them in. Hold on. All right.
It should tell you right on the bottom where it says logo.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Right bottom logo.
Off to the right.
Okay, y'all. So hold on.
I'm going to hang up the phone. Stay on the computer.
Yeah.
Candy? Candy, can you hear me? Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on. Candy, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm on live on the other side of our on my YouTube as well.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I have my guest, Candy.
Hello.
All right, we ready? We are ready. What?
Stage. Okay. Okay, can you guys see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. How is the volume, guys?
It's good. It's good. We're live on Infamous right now as well.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, y'all should know the voice already. 2 mics and 2 mics and 1 mic.
All right.
Are you going to be sharing it straight from your screen or?
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do right now. Okay. Are you having them come over? Are they going to be able to see the?
I'm showing your screen right now, straight from you, and they're in my chat.
Okay. I don't know if they'll be able to see it. Okay, we are live. Okay, welcome, guys. Welcome. There's just a few things. You know who this is already. I'm sorry I've been MIA. We have been working hard. I do have my partner in business here, Mrs. Candy. So I want you guys to welcome her. You'll hear a lot from her coming up. So that is a great thing. So there's a lot of things happening as Miss Sylvia's went live. She said, you know, she is one of the ones that is being affected right now. And it's sad. There's a lot of things that are coming to fruition within this case that we are here to shed some light on. A lot of people had hope with this new judge. A lot of people had a lot of I guess wordplay that they were holding on to, the if and the whens and things like that. Well, unfortunately, what we have found is the YSL trial is caught up into the election. And it really didn't matter who was sitting up there on that bench. Because there is some underhanded things that are taking place that we're going to uncover with you right now. So we did a 24-year comparison study. And the 24 year has showed that everything that has been ran in the campaigns has not been accurate, according to the new campaign. I know that Miss Sylvia and Miss Candy, you both and all of our viewers have heard that, or how many times have you heard throughout this trial and throughout interviews from the DA prior to this trial starting, where they have said that Fulton County increase in crime was outrageous during 2015.
Yeah, that was the thing they was hanging on.
And that was a big thing that was, so we're going to actually go over some numbers. We're going to actually get the facts to you guys today. And we went all the way back to 2000. So 2000, they were looking murder rate about 150. Aggravated assaults have everything included. Those are going to be gunshots, anything that could assault you, fights, any of those are all wrapped up into one. That was at 7390. And the robbery was at 4447. So that was 2000. Keep that in mind, guys. Follow. 2006, we'll jump 6 years. It was 147 for the murder. We're only a few shy of 2000. Aggravated assaults were at 5614, and robberies were at 4253. So we're going to fast forward a little bit here. So you see 2007, that was at 184. 2010, we seen 132, 2011, 120, 2012, 128,
JC,
2013.
JC, I'm
Excuse
sorry, but we don't see the
statistics.
we don't see the statistics. It's not showing.
You guys can't see them?
No.
I had to figure, I thought that was going to happen because you're streaming on your side.
I'm looking
I
at
have it up on my screen.
I'm looking at yours, but I don't see it on. Do you see it, Candy?
No, I have my own statistics pulled up right here.
Okay.
I don't know if I can share the screen or not.
Yeah,
but
you can. Just hit share, and you should be able to share it from yours.
So Candy, pull up, I can actually even send to you. Let me review the numbers, and then she can put them up as we go. So that way they can hear the comparison and then see the comparison.
Okay. Okay.
So 2011, the murders, we were seeing 120.
right.
2012, we were seeing the murders at 128.
Mm-hmm.
2013 went up to 138.
Yes.
2014, it went up by 1 to 139.
139.
In 2015, it dropped 1. Aggravated assaults decreased and robbery decreased. 2016, they had a slight increase. And 2017, it went right back down to 124. 2018 was at 101. 2019 was at an all-time lowest at 94. 2020, it went 121. And then it broke loose. 2021, they doubled in murder, 2004. Aggravated assaults doubled. The year prior, it was at 22,733. And the following year, 2021, it went to 5,073. And robbery doubled into 1,021. 2022 had a significant increase again. 2022, 222 for murder, 4585 for aggravated, and 918 for robbery. So it goes to show that the numbers have not increased significantly, and we want to put the reports of where we pulled it from. Can just make sure you chop the top when you put that up. The only thing is the doubling that we're seeing is when she took office. That is when Miss Willis took office, where these numbers went out of control. So if you are a Fulton County resident and you're out there and you say, well, why would the campaign say this? Why would the campaign say these numbers are down? And what the campaign trail was she said that they deserved a DA in seat that was not going to sleep with staff, that was not going to steal from inner city children, and that Fulton County deserved better. She states exact words that the office was in dysfunction and corruption. And these are all things that she had pushed forth. So what we had discovered is every single one of the campaigns are inaccurate with numbers. So what does that tell you guys? That tells you guys that so if you guys are not really familiarized with how elections work, when your first term into seat, you have to do groundbreaking things to really get a second seat and to receive endorsements by your higher peers that are sitting in seats already. And that doesn't mean fellow district attorneys. I'm talking about the politicians. So in order to get their support, to get those fundings, you have to do some pretty groundbreaking things. And one thing that has stood out for Mrs. Willis and Mrs. Love is gangs. And that is where they wanted to go full force and really hard. So what this has become is a poster board for the election that they are tackling down to the numbers. So does it matter who's sitting on that bench? Please keep in mind that when an indictment comes forth and you have to push those papers to a grand jury, the chief judge has to sign off on that. So that would be Glanville. Glanville has to take a vote with his peers. They had a 12-12. So it all ties in together to let you know. So what would be I can't see their comments because you're streaming on the other side. I want to be able to answer any questions they have.
Well, they're saying it makes sense. Somebody says Kramer 24.
Absolutely. So we are, of course, endorsing Kramer, obviously, because she does have these core issues at heart that are happening. I'm going to take you guys back down memory lane. I'm going to take you guys back to a connection. This is not just a poster board for elections. And this is what will help secure her second seat. And that her goal is 3 terms. That is her goal. 3 terms.
I'm sorry. JC, they were asking for the numbers. They said they're visual people and they want to see the numbers that you will.
Yeah, Candy's working on that to get that up on the screen share.
I just need to know how to screen share because I already have it highlighted. So how I had broken it down was like JL was stating that the numbers are not correlating with either who is in the seat right now, because when it was Paul Howard, we could see that the crime rate has either went down or it stayed steady. When he had come into office, I do believe 97. And then 2001, you would see that it had increased once Miss Willis had taken office.
Okay, all you got to do is hit present on your your screen.
Yeah,
hit present, and you should be able to show what you have on the screen.
I would do for you.
So while she's clicking through that to get that up there for you guys, we can keep on discussing the issue. So with that being said, obviously there was some bad things. I don't know if you remember, Miss Sylvia's, when the election was taking place and she was going into seat in 2021, they filed a federal lawsuit 2 weeks before election on Paul Howard.
Yeah, I remember.
That was brought upon the accusations that Mrs. Willis brought forward. So what I say in Power of the Tongue, and why I say that where she's going to upload these documents for you guys. Power of the Tongue. fast forward, Candy, it's your entire screen.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
I don't want my entire screen showing.
Yeah. Just pull it up. Actually, I can
Click
send
the
it to you.
tab. Click the tab, and it'll just pick out the tab.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
So with the federal lawsuit that was filed 2 to 3 weeks before the election, it was a really big deal because that really hurt him in that area with all of the accusations that had came forward. So you fast forward now here to 2024, we have a groundbreaking, longest trial in history. We have a longest, most money paid in Georgia history of taxpayer dollars. Georgia is suffering one of the highest inflations through the economy right now. So it does show statistically for the states that when you folks go into a local grocery store with the same amount of money you did 4 years ago, you're not going to come out with the same amount of groceries. I'm pretty sure everybody has suffered that. But Atlanta in particular has had several increases, and they have been suffering through that. So these taxpayer dollars are very important, and how they're being spent is very neglectful, especially in a case like this. Just want to give you guys a reminder, Paul Howard had this case and he rejected it due to the only evidence being Woody, and stated that Woody was not stable enough to be able to hold a RICO due to his testimony of what he was giving. It was not believable of what Paul Howard said in the investigation rooms to be able to bring it full forth. The feds had also rejected it. So this is also, a lot of good information for you guys.
Can you make it bigger?
Here, I'll just give you the GBI. They can have it straight from the feds. Hold on.
Absolutely.
Let me give you that. I
So
have
you look
all
for
of
the
that.
Fulton County statistics if you want to go and do your own research. Pull up the Fulton County statistics from the GBI and then put
Nope,
in.
I got it. I got it right here. I got it
Okay.
right here. I got it right here. Got it right here. We don't even got to do that. You know what? Let me, Ken, let me switch with you really quick.
Yes.
Let me just show this tab here. They're visual. They need to see it. And I am with them on that because I would want to see it too.
If you put it in the private, I can take the link and then share it in the link in my channel. If you want. If you put it in the private chat, I can do it.
Okay. So let's show them the 2015. We'll show them the 2016. And we will show them. We'll show them the 2016 that was revised, and we'll also show them their 2021, and we'll also show them the 2022. All right. I got it up.
You got it up on the other side? Let me go on the channel and get it up. Just bear with us, guys. Hold on a second. Just trying to get it so you guys can have it. Share the link on the private chat and now so I can copy it and put it in my thing.
I got you right now.
Thanks.
Here's the one for 2021.
Okay.
All right, Sylvia, I got the one in the chat pasted. I took it right out of my file.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna post the other one right on there. It'll be a lot faster for the folks to be able to see it and follow along on some things.
Jen, I did 2021. I'm doing 6 right now.
Awesome. I just posted 3 of them just super fast in there.
I got
I
it.
have,
I'm putting it in there for them.
okay. You do see them?
It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 2021. So we got 16 in 2006.
And then I sent 2015.
Okay.
I did 2020. I did 2022. Because they got to be able to see that comparison. Sylvia, I'm just doing the ones that really matter because we have 24 years of documentation. So we obviously don't want to cover the 24 years, but we want to highlight some important. We just really did a deep dive.
Okay.
Okay, do you see it?
Well, I'm putting it in the I got those tabs and I put it.
Okay, great. Okay, perfect.
They can't click it. They're not able to click it.
That's why I think it's better to do the screen share.
Okay. Let me just go ahead on into your
Here it goes right here.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
There it is. They got it.
All right, guys. Can you see the 2015?
You close out your private chat part so they can be bigger. The chat on this side so they can see it. Okay, can y'all see it now?
You can't see that on the screen.
They can see it on mine now. We got it. Can y'all see it now, guys?
It's probably easier if they were over here so they could be able to see it and we could be able to respond to their comments.
We see it.
Are they able to see the front GBI, State of Georgia, Bureau of Investigations?
Yep, we see it.
Okay, so this is 2015. I'm just going to bring you guys down to the report here. This information is not something we're going to review. We're going to go down to did I pass it? All right, guys, see that here? I'm gonna highlight it for you guys. You see that there?
We see the Bureau of Investigation November report sign in the front. That's all I see.
Jen, it's not showing the statistics.
We gotta move it up.
What? Okay. Can you guys see it now?
We still see it says Georgia Bureau of Investigation November report 2015.
Oh, you guys are on. Hold on.
You probably have to hit that tab.
Okay.
There we go. There it
You
is.
guys should be in the 2016
Yes.
tab. Okay. All right. Here goes your numbers right here. At the top here, guys, I'm going to kind of just hover over it. You'll see the population number, the murder, the rape, the robbery, all of the things that go aside. And then you have Atlanta here. Fulton is within the Atlanta. And I have it highlighted here. So the murders are here. The aggravated is, it would be this one here. And so it has all the numbers. So we're focused on the aggravated and we're focused on the murders because that was the biggest one that ran that stated why they needed to be taken. So you see that number there, a slight increase on there.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to bring you guys to this one over here. 2021, this is when she took seat. See that significant climb there?
Mm-hmm.
Bring you down to those numbers. Those numbers are doubled.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, they're doubled there. Let me bring you into a whole nother year.
2022.
Yeah. We are doubled again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to bring you to this one here. Let me bring you to this one too. So I have you guys here on this one, 2014, and this was a significant one that we were able to put forward.
And this is when Paul Howard was in office, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So we have all the years from when Paul was in. We also have how many hours on worked hours, how many staff they had on ground, how many examinations, crime analysis, how much money gone into it, where the investigations have gone. We really did some extensive deep dives to see what is the connection here. So I do got to get the other one. This is just the basis of the report. 1 second. Let me grab that one for you guys. Okay, 1 second, guys, getting you guys more. So that gives you guys a little bit more of a visual, and then Candy's in the background doing those. So that way you guys can see, and I can also post those underneath our page. So that way that is there. So that way you guys can see that. Now I'm gonna bring you guys to a different part of this. So that way it's followed along. Right now, the campaign is stating, and this is for Mrs. Willis, that the homicides are down 21%, violent crime is 20%, and those are not facts. We have made sure that we have done all of the legwork to see, okay, are these factual evidence? No, they're not. Okay, we got that. Now we want to go on. Is it okay for the voters to have to vote off of false pretense? Because whoever's running the campaign is not running off of accurate statistics. And to say that 2015 was a horrible gang year is just not accurate. It's not there. The numbers are not supporting that. And as I said, if you view the Atlanta Voice interview, which we do have, going to bring you guys to that really quick. Has the chat, Sylvia, watched Welcome to Gitmo?
I don't know. I've never watched it.
You haven't watched it?
Mm-mm.
Mm.
You told my the interview that she did? I didn't know it was called Welcome to Gizmo.
It's Welcome to Gitmo, Gitmo. So Gitmo, when they did that big old thing on the prisons, they're saying that Atlanta is basically the same way. There's blame being placed between three people. The three people is the sheriff, Mr. Labatt, the chief judge, Mr. Glanville, and the head DA, Mrs. Willis. So those are the three that are tied in to clean up all of these backgrounds. Right now, we know that the jail is overcrowded. We do know that over 11 million is being sent over to Cobb County to house their overstaffing crowded jail. They already have too many in there now, and there is over 1,800 waiting to be charged. There is a small portion of those that are waiting to be found competent, but there is other ways for the state to have them to be found competent. There's different ways of doing that. So that's one of our things that we are going to bring forward. We are going to DC next month. We will be there for 4 days just to speak about everything that has occurred within this trial, before this trial, during this trial, and all of the things that have been uncovered. One of our biggest passion is changing laws and making sure that laws go into place. So one of the things that I'm going to show you now is what we were able to come together and do for the people. And we worked on this diligently to uncover these things. I'm going to share it with you guys, share this screen. This is a project that Jeffrey's dad and our firm has worked on. It's Justice for All in Fulton County, and we will be at the polls. There is an active petition that is now live. This is you can scan that, or you can find it on our page. And what we're doing is bringing this petition to DC. We have Trump that has a RICO there. We have YSL that has a RICO there. We have the Housing Authority that has some issues, and we have the courthouse. So we have wrapped everything up into one for Justice for All for Fulton County. That is the link. There is a paragraph.
Could you hold it up a little longer so they can screenshot it?
Sure. Do I need to go up or down for the people?
You're good. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can get it too.
I can also send the share the link.
I got it.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is something Mr. Williams worked with us on. He is very passionate about change, and he is very passionate. He is very well aware that it is very hard to win this with the things that have been uncovered and the things that are happening. So we do know that how to make a difference. We do know that we have to be in Washington. We do know that we have to be at the polls. We do know that we have to voice everything that is going on. And we have to have the documents to be able to back it up. And that is what we work diligently on, to be able to present. We have written all of the higher ups of every single reporting command. They have been addressed formally. So we're now publicly able to come out to say, hey, we are the people. We are the people. And that's what matters for those seats, for district attorneys, for all of that. It is the people. It is us. It is what we do. It is the work we do. So what we are doing is a call to action right at the footsteps of the courthouse. We will be there before we go to Washington. And then after that, we will be at the polls. So what we are putting together now is a team. a team that wants to fight in Washington with us, a team that wants to do the footsteps at the courthouse with us, and encourage everyone to share the petition, sign the petition. You can sign it and not have your name publicly on it, but your vote, your signature will count. You also can donate, and you don't have to donate. It does not come to anything of the YSL trial, anything that's going on. It is strictly for change.org. All you have to click is know that you are going to participate by sharing the petition, or you can't at this time. Just know that none of those proceeds go to the families and none of those proceeds go to us. So we just say, if you do it to help change.org, that's up to you. We don't request it and we don't see it. So we just want to be very transparent about where the petition is housed, in case you're asked that.
Okay, Melissa says, she says, Washington isn't going to do anything. This is a state issue. Be real.
We know that.
No,
However,
it's not. That's not how it works.
And we always have to challenge. So if you don't do anything, you're just as to blame as the oppressor.
So it doesn't work like that, because you have to remember every single state is headed by what?
The White House.
Where does the state officials report to? Where does the bosses that all the councils, where does the chairman, where does the Senate, where do they all go back to? They have to go to the White House. You got to know the chain of commands and how to make a difference. So it does make a difference. You can't just say it's a state issue. Absolutely, it's a state issue. But I can't, no, I take that back. Not a state issue, because you have other DAs in that state that are stating that these actions within this county is smearing the reputation of other district attorneys within Georgia, and they don't agree with it. They have come out publicly to say that. They had said that it is not serving. They want the people of Georgia to know that this is not a statewide thing. This is a county thing. And you have to understand where county money comes from. You got to understand how they're paid. You got to understand where they're getting their grants from. Three major revenues for district attorney's offices: state, county, and grants. Their primary is through grants. Where do you think that comes from?
It comes from taxpayers.
And when you have grants that are being taken, you have county. The county provides a significant amount to Fulton County. They have been very generous on funding and where they're at with repairs. So you have to connect them all and understand how one hand washes the other and where they go to report. And that is how you make a difference. The other thing that we do have is there is a backlinking connection. How many of you guys remember in the trial? Oh, I can't see the comments because they're not on this side. How many of you guys have watched the testimony of the DA in the Trump trial? Sylvia, what you're going to have to read what you're seeing, because I can't see it.
They haven't responded to it yet.
Have you watched that one?
When Bonnie was on the stand, yeah, I watched it.
Mm-hmm. And then did you watch her father's?
Yeah, I watched her father.
Okay. And so you remember hearing about Mr. York?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Mr. York is administrative coordinator within the Fulton County courthouse during this period of time. So he was responsible for a lot of, I'm going to show you guys right now. He was responsible for a lot of different where's it at right here? Okay. I'm going to show you guys this one right here. Can you guys see that?
No, you're still showing the county change logo.
Okay, one moment. Let me get you guys this. Okay, this other one here is letter to Jordan. I'm going to show them this. Can you pull up the job details right from Fulton County that they posted for his job title?
Let me see.
We have the actual prerequisites and what is exactly handled within that. So as she's going through our dockets to be able to show you guys that, very important that we talk about that, because there is an underhand connection. And so what I'm going to bring you guys back to is the ones that have watched this testimony, and they have watched the testimony of the father. You know, he had spoke about the relationship with Mr. York. Well, Mr. York worked in the Fulton County, as I said, the courthouse as administrative coordinator. He was in control of all the records, reports, and make sure that they are filed. And if anybody needs anything, he is the person to go to. We have his actual job description that we're getting ready to pull up. He also, by night, is a DJ. He's also an owner of a music company, DJ in Service. Well, he has done AC3G festival within Fulton County with Think It's a Game Records. And this was dating all the way back years before the unaliving of the individual that is that is at the center of the YSL trial right now, Mr. Thomas. And so he had a connection through music there, through producing and making beats, and also doing a festival that was promoted from the county, the courthouse, for funding to have that happen for the county. And it was a music festival, and it was primarily ran with Think It's a Game. So fast forward, even after the couple years, well, they were dating. They had a personal relationship that has been testified to on record. So with that connection there, it is more of a, you had a daytime job with them. That was your partner. That was your significant other. And then.
Sorry, they just missed what you said. Could you repeat that again?
I'm sorry, which part?
I'm the guy, you think it's a game. I said, she said, roll it back. Could you repeat? She missed something.
So the connection is they had a love interest. They were together. It was testified to on record in trial on the Trump trial. Mrs. Willis's father testified to the personal relationship that his daughter had with Mr. York. And Mr. York, as I said, was an administrator coordinator within the courthouse. His job was to oversee basically the files, the reports, attend to those. And if anybody had any requests, his roles is right up on the screen. That is for Fulton County. Those are his job duties. Okay. 2015 was the issue. Well, their relationship didn't stop until 2019. That is when the relationship with Mr. Wade had picked up. So this other gentleman just can't go under the water, under the clear there, because there was a direct connection. And the direct connection is through Mrs. Willis. That was her partner, her whatever you want to call it, dating partner, her boyfriend or significant other or whatever else. But he also had a role within the Fulton County Courthouse. And he also had a role at nighttime with the label on making the beats. They also did a music festival together where they are on the flyer together. They're on the flyer together.
Here's the breakdown. The diagram.
And it really, really shows, can you put back up the roles and the responsibilities again?
Yes.
So if you guys think of it there, so you have that at nighttime, they have that, the unaliving of Mr. Thomas in 2015. This relationship went to 2019. So it's not just of a personal interest to make sure that this is because of the background history that you had. Mind you, that before their interests, before their love interests, they were both Howard students together. Also, Mrs. Hilton was at Howard.
Sorry, Candy, can you do me a favor? Can you click the box that has just the without a picture in it, the box with just a square at the bottom?
What do you need?
No.
I need us to move us from the side so that the what you're showing to be bigger, because they're saying it's blurry.
I can paste it. I can paste it on my page. I'm gonna paste all the links for them.
Okay, it's bigger now.
So they can, yep, I'll paste all the links for you.
No, I was just trying to move us out the way.
Yeah, she was just trying to move us. Yeah, it's fine, Candy, because I'm going to paste everything for them so they can actually go through on their own time and read everything with a fine comb so they can even have a deeper understanding of the connections.
Okay.
So that way they have those, because absolutely I want to look at those too. And I'll also include the reports of the study of the 20 years too, so they can be able to see that. I think that's very important. So one of the underlying connections there is, this relationship not only tied from their college days, right? Fani also went on to teach there. So she was of a professor basically to the both of them as well. So it all correlated. And then you fast forward all these years and they're still within the same courthouse. Mind you, this individual has been in the courthouse since the early 2000s with her. There's a big thing that they say that when this election had ran, there was deep-seated corruption, and this is all the things she claimed on why she needed to come into office. These are all of the things that are being uncovered. The same team that was there are the same veterans that are still within there. So there's no one that's changed but the DA. And so it's important for the people to know that. Nothing else has changed. The backlog has grew. The overcrowding has grown. There is over 1,000 of inmates that don't even know what they're being charged with. They've been held for months, and now they have a couple that have reached over the year mark. So you look at all these things and you roll them up and you say, okay, well, you had a personal relationship. You also had a personal friendship with this gentleman, and he also can go to the courthouse during the day and deal with all the records. To me, there's too many conflicts of interest within that circle. Way too many conflicts of interest that should not be there. And that is very concerning, to say the least. How many of you guys knew that connection?
I did.
And how many of you guys know that that it does make a difference when you are doing it for a friend? This is your personal friend that you are affected. So you obviously, by nighttime, you would have to go there. There was a part of it where they said, you know, I would go bring somebody dinner or something like that. Well, was it at the studio? Is what we, the people, need to know. Was it at the studio? And how many times have you visited the studio? And how many occasions have you met with Mr. Thomas? How many times have you been around when your significant other was producing and mixing music? Or how many times, or did you participate in the concert that was held right there in Fulton that was funded by I Think It's a Game? So we're going to fast forward to why that matters. And I'm going to show you guys a document right here on why it matters. We don't come to play. We come to lay it all out on the wood. We are not interested what people wear, what people look like. We're interested in true justice and making a difference. And we show up and we show out and we join together. And we bring in people from all over the world to help fight. And that is the call of action that we've called for Fulton County. Everyone needs it. The citizens need it. The defendants need it. The jail needs it. Everybody needs it. The housing authority needs it. There is so many people affected by just the person sitting in seat. How many times have you seen corrupted behavior happen within this trial?
Someone said, I thought it was Mondo.
No, that's what the people were thinking. The people totally thought, oh, it was Mondo and there was a relationship with Mondo. No, she represented him when she went back to her private practice. She had ran, had lost, and then she went back to her private practice. And then she came back and ran against Howard. So a lot of people didn't know she had lost the first one and it couldn't go. And then she came back with the vengeance. So she had went off into her personal, can you pull up the letter?
The resignation?
No, we're not going to show that one yet. That's going to be for them on the next one. Pull up the YFN letter.
You talking about the one she did for Lucci?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's I think it's a game artist. He was able to get a reachable bond. He had a RICO indictment as well. He had murder attached to him. He had robbery, assault, and then the gang RICO affiliation charge. He was able to meet the reachable bond, and then that the letter is going to go up on the screen. Why do you think he was endorsed and falsified a letter for him? He has on record been stabbed in the jail, been transferred out for treatment.
Yep.
He has been caught with a shank in the jail.
Yep.
He has been caught with a fight that he was participated in. So just to give you guys a reminder as a professional here, anytime anything occurs, documentation has to take place. You have to document where it took place, how it took place, who was involved, anyone was hurt, and if anyone was transferred out. I did plenty of audits on these things in my time. And I can tell you that there is no way, can you just zoom in on that a little bit? I want to highlight something for the people. A little bit more. We're a little blind up in here. Looks like the people got a little bit more. There you go. Come out just a little bit. Okay, right there. Thank you so much. Okay. It says, to the state's position concerning Rayshon Bennett parole eligibility, dear board members, pursuant to the parties' negotiated agreement, the state does not object to defendant Rayshon Bennett being released from Department of Corrections the first time he becomes eligible for parole or after serving 1/3 of his prison sentence, whichever comes first. The recommendation by the state is conditioned upon the defendant's compliance with the lawful authority of all Department of Corrections personnel. And having had no incidents of any kind in any facility in which he has been housed, which, while in custody of the Department of Corrections, attached to the letter, is a file stamped copy of the defendant's final deposition. Should any of the board members have questions regarding the state's recommendation, please feel free to contact my office. So the big part here, oh, what just happened?
You just got one smaller.
Candy, did you zoom out? So the biggest part here, that whichever the recommendation by the states conditioned upon the defendant's compliance with the lawful authority of all Department of Corrections personnel and having had no incidents of any kind in any facility in which he has been housed while he's been in custody. The news has proved that to be not sufficient, and that was falsified. Also, the reports that the jail should have on the stabbing, of the getting caught with contraband, the fight, all of those things are wrote up in his name. So does that equal a letter of endorsement? No, it's falsified. Why would it be falsified? Were you asked to do this because of the connection? Were you asked to do this by your partner who was mixing some beats at that time? We, the people, need to know. We have questions, and all we want to know is if that's true. And we also want to know, where did you get the information that there had been no incidents? Is that an insinuation that the sheriffs are not writing reports on what is happening within that jail? Or is it that you ignored those to endorse? So it's very important for the State Board of for paroles and pardons to know this is falsified and these are not accurate. And they can go right to news clippings and show where he was transported. We do have a picture of him on the stretcher as well, that we have included in our letter. So that's a piece there. I want to bring you to another piece that is connected, and it is through Howard University. Howard University is where everyone has come together. So why? Why have they all come together at Howard University? They're just getting a college degree. They formed bonds. They formed relationships, particularly Miss Hilton and Miss Willis, sorority sisters. And that's a very important oath that everybody, if you do know, college life, we take it very serious. And our duties, we take serious to that. So with the connection there, not only did you go to school with them, you're in a sorority with one of them, you also had a love interest, but first you had a deep, long years of friendship. Now I'm going to bring you back in a little bit of history of why it matters. These are the ones that are running Fulton County. They have no back history, no upbringing in Georgia. They're not from Georgia. They are not Fulton County natives. So the deep history of that county wouldn't be at their core. But election status and winning and having that under their title for a second seat would fit the bill. So very different here. So if we're looking back and say, okay, well, why is that and why does that happen? Miss Love is a native, not of Fulton, but a neighboring county. She is a born, what do you guys call yourself? Georgia Peaches? What do you guys call yourself there?
What they call themselves? I'm not a Georgia peach. I'm a New York.
Oh, you're not a born and raised there neither. Okay, so what is the appropriate name?
I think they Georgia. I think that's Georgia peach.
I thought that I didn't know if I got that off of the show that was on TV or if that's accurate. Like
Georgia.
what
The ladies are Georgia peaches.
Okay, so what do the gentlemen say? Georgians or? I
don't know. Okay, Felicia Fee said Georgians.
Okay, so I knew I heard like something of, but I'll have to I need some real Georgia natives to connect with us, because I really am trying to figure out the lingo and where's where and what's what and whatever else. So as we're going through this, we're just giving you guys, the back end connection there. So not only did it start with a personal friendship, that was a friendship. You worked with them during the day. You got to know them at night. You got to go to school with them. So you got a history with them. So when he's hurting, of course, you're going to be hurt. That's your significant other. That's your partner. So when someone within where he's able to establish his DJing career is taken away, because there has been someone who is deceased, it's going to be a little bit more personal, don't you think?
Interesting.
It's going to be a little bit more personable. But not only that, now you say, I'm going to run this for this seat. I'm going to get into seat and I'm going to fast forward and I'm getting justice. And you even went live on the news and said that she had extra resources. Do you guys know that 50 positions were filled within that courthouse for YSL? Do you know that the funding from the inner youth children was not used for the youth? Do you know that a promise had been made to the mother that she promised justice? She promised to deliver. How can you promise something that you don't know what we, the people and the jurors, are going to think? Because you took a case that was said no on when you were there. You have to remember the lingo that you're hearing. Prior to my office, there was corruption. There was this, there was that. That's what you hear. That is what you constantly hear. There's corruption, there's this, there's that. These the very same people are sitting in those seats. They're just higher up now. They're not ADAs no more. So I need the people to see the full on picture here and what is exactly happening and how this YSL trial is held up in this election. It is for status. It is for ranking. It is for campaigning. It is for the dollar. For the dollar. Her voters are primarily upper class and middle class. It's not coming from the inner city. And you have her on national news saying the crime was terrible, but the statistics show that it actually decreased that year. It actually decreased that year. And before you got in office, that county was at an all-time low. And you got in and you doubled it for consecutive years now. The people don't know that. The voters don't know that. The people is what gives them the seat. And that is why it's very important to be very transparent. What we're seeing here is abuse of power. We're seeing a lot of prosecutorial misconduct. You're seeing a lot of ethical issues. And you are seeking a win versus justice. Well, the law says the exact opposite. You can't seek a win. You have to pursue it for justice. That's not what's happening. So do they have a fair shot if she sits in another term? Absolutely not. Will she come forward and pull the plug on this trial? No. You have to remember that Chief, this is a veteran district attorney. And Mrs. Hilton has been in office for many years. She's seasoned. Love, believe it or not, she is seasoned. She's been in that job for a very, 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 very long time. So with that being said, do you think appropriate remedy for Brady would be to watch a pre-recorded video on what is Brady? Just want to give you guys an inside look. These same prosecutors actually teach that course in summer camp to the newbies coming into law. What do you think, Sylvia?
Sorry.
Sylvia?
I'm sorry. I had gotten a call and I had stepped away. You said, what did I think?
Yeah. What? Yeah. Where you at? Where you at on that?
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. I had gotten a call. I had to step away from the room.
So I said I was discussing Miss Love and Miss Hilton, that they are seasoned veteran DAs. Whether we want to say otherwise, they have been in seat for many, many years. They have been in this field for many, many years, and they have been doing what they do for many, many years. Do you think it's an appropriate remedy for the courts to say you need to watch a pre-recorded video on Brady when insultingly, this is the same course that DAs are responsible to teach at summer camp for the newbies of law coming in? So do you think that this is appropriate remedy?
I think it should have been more than just going to take a remedial class.
Well, not only a remedial class, they teach this class in the summer.
Yeah.
So they know this course by the backhand. This is seasoned veteran behaviors that we're seeing. And it can't just say, well, this has to go to the state bar. No, there's actual underhanded things that are not okay. And we, the people, have questions because we, the people, are what put you in seat. The seat is only yours because the people allowed you to sit in it. It is by their vote. Everyone cannot want change and not be a part of the change. You have to get involved. You have to show up. You have to go to the call of action. You got to show up and fight. If there are any of the viewers that want to attach and want to help and want to do these things, we welcome you. We welcome you. We have room at the table for anyone that wants to do what is right.
Okay, look at I have a couple of people made comments, and one comment says, "So you guys want to vote for a newbie who just got her JD 5 years ago and is only an associate lawyer at rich firm to run the largest county in Georgia? Come on, be wiser than that, serpent. Than the serpent, sorry."
Well, you can sit in the same place that you're in and keep on having young men being sent away. Just this past week, 4 have life sentences. They have just a gang charge.
And they took plea deals.
Yeah, they're all pleas by tactic.
But they don't even know. A lot of people don't even know about this stuff that's happening in the courthouse.
So do you want an experienced person that will deal with things however she will see fit? Or do you want someone that really cares about delivering that backlog of all the ones that are sitting in there that don't even, in the jail, that don't even know if they got a charge coming? They're still sitting there for months. They're still wondering, what am I charged with? What am I going to get charged with? So do you want to stay where it's at? What interception is happening other than a bolstering of your chest out to say, I put this many people away? Well, you did it underhandedly because your evidence wasn't there.
Okay, this person says, Wigs and Wine says, how did Fanny have anything to do with unaliving person, and what does DJ boyfriend have to do with that? Okay, I don't think you guys caught what she...
I don't think that's a proper question. They would have to rewatch and catch that, because that's...
Yeah, y'all missed something, yeah.
Yeah, that's not even a connection that we made in that way. So they definitely are missing some information there.
You're not following the timeline is what it is. So
exactly.
if you re-review and you identify the correlation, then you can connect it all together. That's why we have unjust in the courthouse right now, because it's all intertwined. You just have to make sure you can decipher it however you may see fit for yourself and tie those connections.
And not only tie those connections, we the people have questions. These are all questions that should be answered. These are things that have been testified to on the stand. This is a relationship that was testified to on the stand
by her father.
A relation. Okay, there's quite a few of them saying they don't get the connection. Okay. Maybe
okay, so
that time sheet thing again.
So you have the administrative coordinator of the courthouse. That is your safekeeper. He's also your college friend. So not just your coworker since the early 2001 and 2. He's also your friend. He's also your college mate who later in life became your lover. This same lover worked with you by day, and by night he was a DJ and a producer. He did a festival with Think It's a Game Records. He's done mixing for Think It's a Game Records, where we were able to pull his name off of those things. Where is the person that is at the heart of the YSL trial that was unalived, that is deceased? What label is he from?
Where he was connected to.
Correct. Well, he ran part of it. So what label is he from? Think It's a Game. There is your connection. So as your personal interest lover, a long day of work, he's got to go in and do his secondary work that he does on the side. What about the festival that they did together in tandem? Mr. Williams wasn't a performer for that month. But the following month, he did Rock the Vote. He was invited to that. But why wasn't he invited to the other festival that they had music artists coming to? Because that's where it was ran from. And it was confirmed that no, he didn't have an invite. He was not invited to that. And then we found out who the promoters were. And we have that. So is that a little bit easier for you guys to see the connection now? I can't see the comments, Sylvia, so you're going to have to kind of be the eyes for that.
Danny says, I don't see how making personal connection be your attacking point of corruption. There has to be a tangible thing, which I do find that there are plenty based on your argument on those. It says, if Lucci and Quan got an issue with anyone with YSL, who has got at that point? I don't know.
But would there be an issue for Rich Homie Quan?
Somebody said,
Rich Homie, huh? What was that?
Somebody said, be more convincing.
I don't think I have to be convincing. I feel like all of the documents we have and what the higher ups are seeing, that's where it needs to be convincing. The people should be able to see it through. I don't think them themselves or whoever made that comment. Would you want to be sitting facing a life term in front of individuals that are connected inside of work, outside of work, and in the bed? I just want you to answer that honestly. And you tell me if you have a fair shot. If you have someone that has the ability to put you away for life, that is connected with others, that have an inside connection, and they're not only connected inside that work, but at night and through bed, are you going to sit there with a fair shot? And if you know that person has to have some groundbreaking things to convince we the people that you are fit for a second term. But in Mrs. Willis's own words, she says in her Atlanta Voice interview that he was not fit for the job due to the corruption, due to sleeping with staff, and due to taking from inner youth children. It's called power of the tongue. So everything that she did to run her campaign to win it the first time around was based off of the accusations that she put onto her boss that mentored her, that she spoke highly of on many podiums, and then decided to bring a lawsuit, a federal one that was going to take them all the way out the game 2 weeks before election. It's a dirty game. It is a politician game, and that's what it's about. So what are they trying to protect? That's what you guys are thinking. What are they trying to protect? What is the big deal about a Democrat versus a Republican? Why does that have to deal with the court? Why? Why does that make sense? Because there's a heart of an issue that Atlanta has been wrapped in for many, many years. It is the airport. That airport is at the rule of all evil. Republicans want it. The state wants to take it over. The state wants to take it over, and it is owned by the city of Atlanta. Busiest airport in the U.S. It is top 3 and made the #1 spot many times. FAA, it is a major hub. Major hub. Major revenue, major dollars that is being poured into Atlanta from this airport. So you have to understand and, get out of the box and be able to know what all the issues are out there, because you, the people, deserve it. You guys deserve to know what relationships are had, what connections are had. You guys will be able to see. That is why you see Mr. Lucci getting endorsed, falsified, falsely endorsed. You know him. and you know him personally. But why would you make it that obvious and hold these gentlemen with no bonds?
And then you gave him, Lucci, bond with the same type of charge, and he even had a murder on his charge.
He had an assault as well.
Yeah.
A robbery. He had a robbery. He had a murder.
And he was on bond, and then he violated his bond thing, and they pulled him back. But he was on bond, and Jeffrey never got bond. Jeffrey never got a bond. Never.
No, he's been denied every single time. Every single time. And you say, well, why? Why is it so different? This young man over here is on a same trial. He doesn't have a robbery. He doesn't have a murder. He doesn't have that attached. So it's to open the eyes of the people to say, look, there's a
Lamar, you're incorrect. I was at the hearing each time. He was on bond, and they came and got him because he violated his bond condition. I was there.
Absolutely.
I was there.
We have a video of when he walked out, and it has the date on there and the exact time, and he has the ankle bracelet right around, and he was in the parking lot filming, and yeah, it's there. And his footage made social media when he was wheeled out on a stretcher, when he was stabbed. So all of that is there. So it does show that it was falsified. Him getting caught with contraband, a shank, that was there. All of this stuff has made the media and the headlines. So knowing that that happened, and to endorse on top of that and say he's had no sanctions and everything that he's had is reachable. And he'll be back out very, very, because based off of Georgia law, you know, they're not contesting anything, and he didn't get any way, shape, or form any type of life sentence or anything. The other thing I have for you guys is what does it say on there, Sylvia? Said there was another question that they had on the.
Say it again.
There was another question that you said it was right after that. After you said, no, I was there. There was something else you were going into.
Oh, no, I wasn't going into anything else. I didn't have anything else.
Okay. And then, so Sylvia, what do you think about the 191
indictment? Overacts.
That 190 don't apply.
No, but they get ready to put the other two that have happened in the court. I mean, while they've been in jail, they're trying to put those in there as well.
Yeah, I did hear when she says that.
Yeah, and that's that I went and pulled up the actual what do you call it, the charges on that, which just still haven't been indicted yet. It's out of Cobb County.
Yeah, then that was they're also housing in Cobb County and paying almost $12 million to house their extra inmates there. Okay,
the title of this live is YSL Trial. Is it corruption? This has nothing to do with my channel being demonetized. So Has
What do you
nothing
mean?
because they keep asking me about my account being demolished.
Because Sylvia is a target, and that's the thing. Sylvia is a target. She's going in the courtroom, and she's going live with you guys in the evening, and she's going into different places. She's going into the studio, podcasts, and things like that. So you have to understand she has eyes on her, and there's people that's going to be upset with her for what she does. And so people are reporting and doing things to her that are not fair. But she is working through those currently, and she'll be back up in no time, and everything will be all right for her. But this is what happens when you speak out and you speak the truth. Because truth and politics don't go hand in hand, unfortunately. And it's sad. So for, then also, so Ms. Sylvia, I needed you to confirm that. How many of the speedy trial requests were there?
There was, I know for a fact, 2. And then the other ones didn't, it was more than, well, originally it was more that was submitted, but only 2 went through because the other ones was during the time where there was an order placed because of the COVID situation that they didn't recognize speedy trial until after I think January 1st, 2023. So, yeah.
Okay. And from what I hear is, I heard she's very personable though.
Who?
In real life.
Love?
Mrs. Willis and Mrs. Love. I heard that their behaviors right now are out of character for the both of them, is what I heard. So this is everything is allegedly. Everything is allegedly, because you have to put that out there. But I heard that they're very personable in real life, that this is out of character for them. So I just want to know, anybody in the chat, have you ever had a personal relationship of either of the two to vouch to say, yes, this is out of character for them? What you see, Sylvia?
They want me to drop the link because they want to talk.
Okay. Go ahead. You can drop it.
You want to talk?
You got it, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we can bring them up.
One at a time, guys.
I think mine can have, give them my link. So they're on the back of my StreamYard.
So you want, okay, I need to go back into yours and get yours.
Because I have it set up for them, so it will ping them and they will auto get the links. I set it up through the settings. That's what was taking me so long to go live today on our channel. Our channel is new for Candy and I. And it's just to spread awareness. We also have 2 other cases that we're working on that we're going to bring to you guys.
Okay, Cooper said this wasn't helpful.
Oh, we have a lot. We're not even, we're just getting in the touch. So it's very helpful. It's very helpful. It's done a lot of things already. Do you have it up there for him, Sylvia?
I put it in. I put it in already. You should see some of them coming to your back channel. Tanya said, prove it. Tanya said, prove it.
Okay, Uptown. I see. Okay. Channel is new for Candy and I, and it's just to spread awareness.
He has to turn down his thing in the background.
Hi, Uptown Marty. Can you just mute your background so we could be able to hear you?
My bad. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, you sound good now.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
Sylvia,
afternoon.
sorry. Yeah, afternoon. I'm sorry.
Afternoon where I'm at.
Where we at on this beautiful
Good
planet?
morning.
Yeah, I'm so sorry what happened to your account, Miss Sylvia. That's corny. I know we all have our disagreements about some things, but what we all agree on is the state is, they're not playing fair. And this has been happening, especially to young black successful men, a lot. And it's like it feel like there's no way out because even when you're successful, this feel like they're coming at you more. And we definitely need to get out and vote and do what we need to do. But I just had a question about this candidate that y'all was speaking about. What's her name?
Courtney Kramer is
Courtney
the
Kramer.
candidate that is running against Willis. That is the only candidate.
That's the only candidate. Is there no other Democrat candidate?
There is not.
The Democrats say they already had their primary, and Willis is the one that won that primary.
Okay. I was just wondering because, I know Kramer is a Republican and they got the Trump thing going on. And is she like pandering to us just so she can, free him and then go back to the same politics, if not worse? So I was just wondering, like, how can we be sure?
They all pander, if you ask me.
What was that? How can you make sure what?
I mean, just like how if we vote in Kramer, how can we be sure that she'll really, do the things that Fannie couldn't and do the things that she promised, and she's not just saying this to get our people riled up.
Well,
so
that's
she
what
can
that's
free
the
Trump.
that's the risk that everyone takes on every single vote they cast, right? We really don't know what they're going to do when they get into seat. Isn't that true?
Facts.
I mean, if you look back at the previous election in Fulton County, you had a gentleman, Mr. Howard, that had been in seat for years. Since I believe it was 2007, he had been in the seat, and he was unseated due to the corruption, the chaos that was outed from Mrs. Willis and the campaign, and then the lawsuit that came forward. And so now we're seeing all those same things right now. And,
Right.
and what his standpoint was, he was taken back. It was personal to him because he mentored her and she came up underneath him. And so that is the whole point of there's nothing that has changed within that department because the same people are there in a higher seat now.
I think the same thing. If I could chime in on that, because I was listening to what's her name, Ashley Merchant this morning, because Miss Sylvia hadn't had nothing up because we was going through technical difficulties. So I forgot this guy that I was watching. And Ashley Merchant was one of his guests, and Ashley Merchant was explaining the same thing that you're explaining right now, is that how much of the corruption had been going on and how deep rooted it is within the system of Fulton County, even to the point where her and her family had to move out of Fulton and move to Cobb County because, some things was happening. Their house was getting broke in and cars, and they would call the cops and they would try to get prosecuted, but nothing would happen. And she made mention this morning about the guy Paul Howard and how Fannie was up under him. It's just like almost Daniel's son trying to take Mr. Miyagi's spot.
That's
First of all,
exactly
right. First of all, you don't know enough to really come in and really try to take your Mr. Miyagi spot because you haven't sat long enough to learn, first and foremost. Second of all, I think that, like you said, I think the fact that when she came in, like Paul Howard said, he was not going to prosecute this case because he needed credible witnesses. And unfortunately,
absolutely.
like Fonnie come in and we're gonna be captive save a hero, and we're gonna prosecute to the fullest. And then now it's looking like a S show, like every platformer has been saying. This is just a circus. And
But absolutely. But what you have to look and zero in on is, why did she choose this? This was a cold case. Why did
Right.
she choose this? Because that promise was made
Mhm.
to the mom.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that getting justice for a mother is wrong, because let me tell you, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there was a whole team that was hired strictly for this. There was this was the poster board that was supposed to help for the second seat.
And you're so right with that, because even she mentioned that about the people that was there left when she came in. So you're
Correct.
absolutely, I'm just actually confirming what you're saying, that Ashley Merchant said out of her mouth.
I
You know,
appreciate you. That
everybody
means
that
you're
was
following.
on that case, right? Everybody that was on that YSL case before, when Funnies came in, they left because they was in agreements with Paul Howard that we can't do this. We can't just take the taxpayers' dollars and waste them like this here when we don't have credible evidence or credible witnesses to prosecute this case.
And not only that, you got to think of the people. You got to think of the taxpayers. You got to think of, they're already in such a huge inflation.
Can I say one more thing and then I'll get out of here, because I know it's a lot of people that want to speak. I'm just saying, I just don't want I just want our people to do the research, and I just don't want another Republican candidate coming up and saying something and dangle this Young Thug case in front of us like candy, just to have an ulterior motive and to let other people free that shouldn't be free, including Trump. But I just want it's not just Democrat and Republican. I just want everyone to look at these politicians on a case by case basis and not be fooled just because one says, I'm gonna get your uncle out of jail.
Absolutely.
And then you vote for him, and the rest of it goes to hell. But that's it. Thank y'all for having me up.
Hey, can I speak on to you before you leave?
I appreciate you, Marty, but just to answer you, because that's very valuable. Antonia, I'll give it to you right after. It's very valuable because that's very right. A lot of people are scared to vote because they don't know the candidate, right? A lot of people are afraid because they don't know what they're going to do to get into seat. But what you do know is that what is happening right now is not okay. And what you do know is that there's a lot of people that are being targeted, and that their lives are at stake for a poster board to be able to have these groundbreaking things under your belt. And that's not okay. If you have superiors and the feds say absolutely not, the only person that you have that is going to have to tie this case is an individual that is not trustworthy.
And to also speak, I'm sorry, I thought you were
no. So what would be the other motive of that, to say, nope, I'm doing this, I'm going forward? You needed it for your belt, and you went with it, and you went hard, and then you had a promise. But I don't want the city of Fulton to forget about, what about the other 136 deceased? Why didn't they matter in that same aspect? Why didn't they have 50 extra employees sent just to work their case? Why didn't they have all the extra resources? Why didn't they have all the extra funding? Why didn't they have all of those things? Why didn't they matter? Why did just this one matter? Is what the people need to be asking.
Wow.
Why do their family not deserve justice?
And I totally understand. Antonio, you had something to say to me?
Yeah, I wanted to and this is like this here. I just believe even when I shout out to Sadie Nash, because that's where I first seen that document of this late what's her new name? I can't think of her name. that's running against Bonnie Willis, Christy
Kramer.
something. Frank Creamer, right?
Courtney Kramer.
Courtney. Okay. What was so refreshing to me when I read her public declaration or whatever it was that she was saying is that her what she said to me, not just as I don't even live in Georgia, but if I was a citizen there, what stuck out to me the most about what she was saying, and this is just to talk to you, Marty, as far as giving her the shot, because like you say, we don't know one way or the other. But I listen to what a person don't say more than what they do say. And the things that she was saying about, all these backdate logs, these cases that are backdated, these rape cases, all these other cases that are backlogged. Like Ashley Merchant was saying that Fulton County is paying Cobb County so much money to house people because they don't have nowhere to house these people.
I said that today, but they also have over 1,000 people that are still over their numbers there.
Yes.
That are not charged.
Right. So what better way not to get some fresh blood in there? Even if I'd rather let somebody come in and show their hand and give it a shot than to keep sitting here looking at the same people run the same circus and run the same play over and over and over and over and over again. Like Merchant said this morning, who deals in cash? So fun to say, oh, I do everything in cash. I don't have no woman. That's called no traceable.
That's not traceable.
That's called corruption at its best. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
to you, Marty, I just feel like, I'd rather for somebody else I'd rather invest in another person giving a shot than to keep watching these same ones throw a brick.
Me too. I'm just saying, no matter who it is, let's just keep holding their feet to the fire after they get elected.
Right.
And
I'm with you with that.
Not let us be pawns and whatever we're trying to accomplish.
And
but
I agree.
definitely agree with you said as well. I don't live in Georgia, but I would be happy to see some type of change. But I don't want us to take our foot off the gas, once we get somebody in office.
But the great thing is you guys are not there, right? But your voice still matters. Your count still matters. Your petition matters. Joining for the call of action outside of the courthouse where everyone is going to gather out there and demand justice. We're going to be at the polls. Several groups are being organized to be at the polls so that way they can understand and have all this. Just so you guys know that everything that we obtained is out there. It is public. It is public record and access. Every single one of you guys have access to it. And every single one of you guys.
And I want to say something to Marty. Marty's focusing on the thing about Trump. Do you think that she's really going to get Trump? No, I don't think so. And so who's being unjustly done is those 6 guys, the way this trial is going.
Well, absolutely. But no matter who is on that bench, you don't have, a lot of people are I don't know how, but in this case, somehow, some way, everyone has strictly been focused on love in Glanville. What I need everyone to understand is that they go back to Mrs. Willis. She gives them the orders on how to handle this case.
Yeah.
She is the person to say no, yes, keep pushing, fight on this, try to get this in.
You had to sign off on Lil Woody immunity.
Absolutely. And how all that unfolded out, and what I wanted to see from the attorneys is it was very unfair for the judge to say that they forfeited their right to speak on it because it was announced in court. To be very fair, if they go back and play that end of the video, there was no one in earshot of that remark of we need an ex parte. We may need an ex parte, but the court reporter in Glanville, you had one attorney already on the phone They were already recessing for the day. You had one packing up. You had one helping an inmate that had a coat stuck on a chair. Way too much going on to say this was an announcement. This was not an open court announcement on how it was projected. But why was it said like that? These are all things. What I need the people to know is she literally quieted the uproar by holding those motions for all of that time and kept pushing ahead on the trial. If you noticed, her focus coming in was to push the trial ahead and kept those motions off on the side. So it had everybody speculating, thinking a mistrial was coming. That was purposely and intentfully done. That is to quiet the uproar of what occurred. And she did it successfully because everybody followed along. And they held on to words of hope by I hope, or if there's a mistrial, they'll hold on to the if word. We may, or this may not be able to come in, and then the following week it comes in. So that speaks to a lot of it as well.
Okay, I'm gonna follow.
Sign the
other-
petition.
Yeah, what other things that Kramer has in plan if she gets elected, and you know, see if we're aligned in other places as well. But I just do want the best for Jeff, of course.
Absolutely. Well, you want to see justice. You want to see justice for all of them sitting there. And you want to be able to have some faith restored in the judicial process, which we, the people, are not feeling that anything has been restored. And all we're seeing is a repeat of what just came off of the bench.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. I'm getting out of here. Y'all have a beautiful day.
All right, Marty, you too. Thank you for coming up. Sandy, how you doing today, Sandy? Thank you for being patient. Can you hear us, Sandy?
Sandy's not here.
Okay, Sandy just went back down. Oh, putting him back on. Okay, he just went out, accidentally clicked off and clicked back on. Sandy?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Thank you for being patient while the two gentlemen were speaking. So what would you like to say today?
What I like to say is, like, you don't have to live in Atlanta to see the corruption that's going on over there. One thing you guys have to think about is it doesn't matter who you elect somebody new. If there's no collaboration to fix the corruption, how y'all gonna put this person? It doesn't matter what her experience is to fix this like right away. That's a question you guys have to think about.
Mm-hmm.
The corruption in Atlanta is corruption like that in every other state. People that live in Atlanta might be more aware. Fanny, I know I'm repeating myself, she was here in Boston not too long ago with Hilton. They gave her some check. I'm trying to find out how much money it is. Now, whatever money they gave her, she's going to use for this trial. She's going to use maybe for the sheriff's department. We don't know that. Only people in Atlanta will know this. But my point is this. Corruption there in Atlanta, just by you electing this lady Kramer, and I'm not saying nothing wrong about her, she's not going to be able to fix all this corruption like this. There needs to be collaboration between everybody in there that wants to fix it. If they don't want to fix it, that's not going to be fixed right now. So that's what I got to say.
You have to, you're very accurate in it. It has to be a collaborated effort. But what we do know is that the fight is present. The fight is getting, the call of action, and all the people, we the people, rounded up to fight for this change. I think that they have done a tremendous job by keeping the people kind of quiet and pushing things off and trying to push the trial ahead. And that is where we, the people, have to go one step further, and we have to show up. We have to be present, and we have to go to the places that matter. And that's exactly what we do. That is exactly what we do. When we see these type of injustices, we fight, and we fight hard.
And then, I'm sorry. And then
You guys.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I just want to say something. So again, with the fight, you have to make sure you hold people accountable. It appears that a lot of people, when they're speaking, they're not speaking from the intelligence outside of emotional. So people have to put aside their emotions and understand emotional intelligence. You have to learn how to fight.
Yes, I agree with that because, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. People, oh, I don't know whose phone that is, but anyways, people fall in love with emotion too much. Like, and I'm not gonna bring this person up, but there was a lawyer that was in here, and people just fell in love with her, and I just felt like she wasn't competent. Something was gonna happen to her. They were gonna take advantage of her if they bring an open court. I said this for the past 3 weeks, and it exactly happened to her. And she's a lawyer in Atlanta. I'm not gonna mention her name because people are in love with her. They emotionally attached to her, and they don't want to separate them. And they need to be careful with her because she's in hot seat right now with with the DA and stuff like that. And now what's going to happen is
Who
now
are
is
you referring to, Sandy? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I don't want to say her name because people get emotional.
Oh,
They emotionally attached to her.
Right.
oh,
I don't
You
think
actually know
it's
who it
more
is.
so emotional. I think it's more so people speak from their passion.
That's
Because
emotional.
you have to really think about emotionalism. A person would do or go to a very extreme uh, to show their, you know what I mean, how they feel about a certain thing. But when you're speaking from a place of passion, because I mean, sometimes the two lines can intersect. Because I'm a passionate speaker, no matter
Me too.
what
Yeah.
I
I can
speak
see
on.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very passionate. I'm very animated when I speak. Even my wife said all the time, like, yo, dude, calm down. Hold on. It's not that serious. But I'm so passionate because when you come from a place of dealing with being in that seat where Jeff and all those guys have been, or been in a place where your life or your life has been taken for you for a certain amount of time because of somebody saying something that wasn't there, or trying to get over, or you've been crapped on all your life. Sometimes your experience will have you speak from a place of passion and not so much emotional. So I think the lines is a very blurred line between emotion and passion. But I just wanted to put that out there because I agree with what the young lady was saying about a lot of people speak from emotions, but I just wanted to put that in differences of, a passionate speaker.
And I
And I
agree
am.
with you as well. It's just that you
Uh-huh.
have to know how to insert that and turn it off and on when you are a public speaker.
Right.
Yes.
Gotcha.
You can't wear your emotions on your sleeves because you're going to be attacked from all directions.
And that
Gotcha.
You're going to
and,
lead.
and that's what happened. That's what happened to
Conviction.
this lawyer. That's what happened to his lawyer. She's an officer of the court. She was speaking out emotionally on YouTube, whatever. And people was like, oh man, she has a nice body. I like her. She's this and this and that. She went in a court and she pooped on herself. So it's just like, and then people was mad at me. Oh no, I'm not gonna for people that are incompetent like that, that brought some animosity to the case because love took advantage of that. You understand? But let me get away from that. There's going to be collateral damage. The collateral damage is Thug and these defendants. They might get life for 20 years or whatever. Because if you guys heard, whatever Copeland gets convicted with, that's going to go on them too.
Yeah,
Steele said it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
you're correct.
right. It
So
is a reflection, and I agree with that. I agree with that. I understand that what you say, like the emotional connection for her, but what I want to keep in mind is have a little bit of grace as well, because she is newer to this world and she's dealing with seasoned veterans, right? And they are underhandedly have a personal attack on making sure that this is seen all the way through. They are throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. And having a new attorney come in that is newer to that world, where she hasn't been practicing for 20 plus years like the others, it's a little bit harder because she doesn't have all of that experience under her belt. So it's very easy for her to be a target as well. Yes, we probably wanted to see her deal with the courts first before YouTube
Mhm.
filing. And we wanted to see more on the professional side of that, but you really can't fault her too much because you have to go off of she's growing and she's learning, and she's up against a widespread of corruption, and she is up against seasoned veterans that are all locked in her hands, tied together. So when you do have someone coming out as her, as a whistleblower, excuse me, to say, you know, this is not accurate and this wasn't, yes, we wanted to probably see that come through as emotion, but we also have to lead with some type of grace because she has displayed that she's in it for the fight.
And she has, and she never lied. Like they try to say that she lied. I was like, she never lied. Like the other people are, she never lied. It's just the way she brought everything up. I think somebody should have guided her, and
Yes.
I knew that was gonna happen to her. I was saying it in this group chat for the past 3 weeks. I said, if she goes this with doing that, love is gonna eat her apart. The judge is not gonna give her no Rule 22. Everything I said happened to her. I think nobody guided her, but she
Because
knows the corruption.
I think that we're looking at it from, because we're looking at it from a professional standpoint, right? We wanted to see it happen through motions. We wanted to see that that standing strong and firm on that. But you have to remember, it is a very different world when you sit in that seat up there.
It is, but
Okay.
she's familiar, and I'm not putting the blame on. I'm just saying,
No. You have to remember, she's not
right?
familiar with sitting in a seat as a witness.
She's
familiar
familiar
with
with being in a courtroom. She's
representation.
familiar with being in a courtroom.
Correct, but it is
You
very
know,
different when you are sitting on the opposite side and you're in
I,
that box and you're giving
I,
testimony.
yes, I do agree with that.
So some people freeze up, you know, during that. And that's why I say I'm not making excuses for her.
No,
I'm
you're
just
not. You're not.
to
But
give grace.
it was confusing to people seeing a lawyer officer of the court being questioned and she can't recall, but she could recall everything on YouTube. That was just kind of fishy. People need to understand that you can't tell me, oh, you're wrong for saying that. No, this is what I see, is my opinions.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
she was more factual in her YouTube comments than in the courtroom. She said
so
more.
that may go to show that, you know, people freeze up on that other side, or it
Yes,
may go to show that, you know, she was so nervous, because on that side, it's different when you're speaking at the podium, looking at the judge, and you have all the people amongst you on your backside. It is very
correct.
different when they're all staring at you and the judge takes over the questioning.
And
And that
not
is what
only that,
happened.
she
Huh?
was speaking from frustration.
Yeah.
And she was frustrated because
right. You have to
she was
take
already,
that time and breathe.
she was already giving love. Like when she left the sting, whatever, she had an intention to show up with love, and she did it. When she had that dress on, I don't know, the gray dress or whatever, she went and looked at love, like not very professional. You understand? Don't you think the
So
judge
for
sees
the
all of that?
smell test,
Excuse
not
me?
passing the part where not passing the smell test.
Yeah, and then she even made that comment. Even that comment, the judge didn't like that. And then when she finished talking, she went looking at love, all kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up now? You
Yeah,
understand? That wasn't professional. So it's just like, it is what it is. I think she had some intentions when she was in that courtroom. But,
absolutely. I felt like
you
she
know,
would have delivered a very strong testimony if she had an experienced veteran to guide her a little bit better.
yes. And
Um,
that was, yes.
and it's going to come with more experience. I mean, she's
Right.
just getting her feet wet into that world, and that's why I just say give a little bit of grace, because everybody that starts out in any career, regardless if it's law, if it's medical, you're never the best in the beginning, but it's
Nope.
how you finish your race and how you grow and how you learn from it. And I can't speak for her, but I'm pretty sure she's learned some valuable lessons along this way of what she will and won't do going forward. And I think that, you know, the people just wanted to see a strong stance of professionalism and go, you know, straight forward, as we're seeing from the attorneys that are present right now. But she'll get there. She'll get there. But we just have to focus on to make sure that going forward, everyone is interlocked and conjoined. This fight can only happen and it can only win together. It can't be separate. And everybody joining in from all different states that are offering to help, offering to go to DC, offering to go when we speak and do all these things. We're grateful. And the petition that Mr. Williams made, that's up. I mean, he's fighting for his son's life. His mother's fighting for his son's life. All the other defendants that are there, their family. Imagine them knowing my child could be disposable off of a billboard corruption to win a second seat and to make sure that this conviction is under her belt. And it's sad. It's so many people that get lost and they get thrown into the system for the rest of their lives off of statements. This is a bragging statement piece. There was nothing foundational about this case. This is why it was declined by her former boss. This is why it was declined by the feds. This is why, because we're actually seeing it. But we're seeing all the taxpayer dollars be spent on this. Why are the taxpayers not totally outraged? And now they are. Now they're getting outraged. Now they're seeing it. Now they're coming up. Unfortunately, when primary ran for election, nobody was aware. But now a lot more people are, where there's actual professionals coming forward and saying, we will join your fight.
And
We
I
have
agree with
a
that.
lot of head people that are willing to join the call of action.
And it seemed like it's unfortunate that a lot of people are just now coming out, because it had taken something to happen with Trump to bring Miss Willis into it and then shine the spotlight on, unfortunately, Fulton County.
I mean, look at all of the residents that are affected with the housing, situation. I feel terrible for the citizens within Atlanta, because they are the ones that are suffering all the prices. They suffer the increase, and they pay it out. So absolutely, they should be the first one at the polls.
Absolutely.
They should be the very first one at the polls. A lot of people don't realize that these big trials like that, when you have a name, that is a big piece. That is a big piece. And however, statistically, it doesn't match. She said they had seen one of the worst years that year because of this death. And actually, all three numbers were lowered. Actually, all 7 to be exact. And so, that's what the people didn't know in May. They didn't know that in May. They didn't know that what the campaign is now is not even accurate. They didn't know that. They didn't know exactly how their money was spent. They didn't know that. But now there's so many people that are coming forward to say, no, this is wrong. Where do I start to fight? Where do we start? And so that's where we inform them. Mr. Williams has this petition. We have made it go live. It is available for the world now, and we want the world to share it. We want the world to fight and see this all the way through. Because speaking on YouTube is only a small sliver that really doesn't even, it just touches the people on the YouTube world. But you got to remember, there's so many people out there that don't do this YouTube thing every day. So it's important for us to have the call of action right there to the courthouse. It's important for us to go to all of the buildings that matter, that they report to, that where their funding comes from. It's important that these things are uncovered, because these things are unjust. Where have you ever seen in America where you've seen seasoned veteran prosecutors not even be candid with the court on multiple occasions and not be sanctioned? Where have you ever seen it at? Who followed the Baldwin case? One report not not turned over, dismissed that day instantly. The judge didn't even need a second thought. Here we're seeing, oh, well, you got it now. It's not Brady anymore. Unfortunately, the law doesn't say that. The law doesn't say, well, if you give it to him whenever you feel like it, it's no longer considered Brady. That's not what it says. Maya, I want you to be able to get in, and the other.
Hi.
Maya, can you hear us?
Oh, I can hear you guys. I didn't know you guys were calling me. So I just have a quick statement. When you were saying where can we start, I think the best place to start, honestly, is the Department of Justice Public Integrity Unit. I mean, if from the slide that you showed, you guys have all this information about public corruption, you know, they would be the perfect unit to jump on all of this. And all the signatures and all the petitions, I think we need to give it all to the Department of Justice and say, hey, we literally have evidence of corruption. You guys need to step in and do an investigation and also prosecute if necessary, because the Department of Justice can come in and shut this whole entire thing down. So
DOJ is involved.
Yeah.
DOJ is involved. Yep. So we need to be able to have it circulated.
And my next one was, as far as I know we were talking about like love and saying that Fannie Willis is, you know, pulling all the strings. As an attorney, like you still have to be upheld through the code of conduct. So I feel as though, like, yeah, and Fannie is telling them to do these things, but they know that when they took that bar license that you have certain things you simply just can't do. So I feel like, you know, like they have to take that accountability for themselves and not just say, well, my boss told me to do it, or my boss gave me the okay. Like, your boss can't tell you to go in there and do something that you know is illegal and you do it. Like, they're held to a different standard.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I feel as though, like, yeah, like Love and Hilton, the Bar Association needs to be investigated. They need to pull their bar license, because, as you know, the person who works with these attorneys, like, there's just certain things you just can't do, and they've crossed all boundaries. And as far as the judge is concerned, I remember saying when Sylvia first talked about her, when we mentioned that she was a prosecutor, I said, listen, former prosecutors usually stick with the prosecution, and I still hold to that, because if you have a seasoned DA and you made her watch a video on Brady, like, to me, that's not even considered a slap on the wrist. That's just you trying to appease the public, because you usually hand out like this disciplinary action according to how long the lawyers have been licensed, or how long they've, you know, been licensed, and how, you know, how bad the severity of situation is. And for you to tell them,
wasn't the same sanction used? You had a lawyer that was handcuffed and taken to jail.
Exactly.
right, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that what this judge did, I can't remember her name, Whitaker. By Whitaker telling them only to watch a video, I feel as though it aligns with what I first said when I first heard that she was on the case. She's a former prosecutor, and she's not going to go against her fellow prosecutors, because there's no way that you can justify telling a veteran of that long who's been in the field, because you can be a lawyer and not be in that field, but for her to have been a prosecutor for all those years, and Whitaker just slaps her on the wrist, you're clearly aligning with the DA. I mean, that's just, to me, it's like she's different. Only difference is what her and Glanville is. Glanville was blatant, and I think Whitaker's not being blatant, but I still think she is, you know, being biased towards the defense. There's no way in the world they didn't get a mistrial for all the crap that they have done. I just don't think that's possible. So I think she's still being biased.
Even handcuffing the court to say what they can cross-examine on.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. I think the public, and I know they said the DOJ was involved, and I don't know to what extent, but I will say this, that from my experience, when the DOJ is usually involved, these public officials, they move different. And all I'm saying is that because they're still moving the way that they're moving, you know, for me, I'm just like, how involved are you guys? Because as soon as they get a letter of investigation, they just start doing stuff that's different. And that's just from me.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that. So when they are put on notice and they open their investigation, they spend a little bit of time in the woods before they come out and make their self known.
Yes, it's fact checking.
Correct. And that is exactly what, you know, is going on. They're able to see what is occurring day to day. You have lawyers, you have other judges. I've had several, I've had already judges that have reached out to say, I'm in support of the movement. And that's tremendous right there. I mean, there are tons of attorneys. We have CEOs. We also have a former president that will appear, that is for the cause. There is a lot of people that are joining in to be able to make sure that this call of action, that they're heard. And then, you know, you got to go on to the second point, and then you have to fight for the law, and you have to fight for the enforcement of the law. Just always remember, what doesn't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse.
Comes out in the rinse. Yeah, I just have one more thing. I know you were talking about finding their funding sources, and I just know that one of the things we did in Philly when we had a problem was we look at, usually when they get funding, we look at like the rules and the guidelines to what their funding was, and we found violations with that, and we kind of said to the funding sources like, hey, they're in violation of these particular rules that you gave them funds for, and you need to pull these funds back. So, you know, that was just something that we had done. I just wanted to put that out there.
And the commissioner is you know, very aware. He has been very open to hear, you know, what is happening within the county, and he knows the investigations that are open and launched. He knows that there are 3 big ones, and he does know that, and he does know that the sheriff's office is also wrapped up in that. So, you know, these are all things that, you know, just go to show that now it's coming out. We haven't really seen too much pushback. If you think of we the people, right? We are the people. We haven't really seen too much pushback other than YouTube coverages. There's been no real actions. And so that is one thing that we had to make sure that we put in place. So we will be there with the call of action next month. It will be displayed on our channel for everyone knowing when to meet. We have people messaging us on what they're willing to help with. We're trying to have little stations set up for like hydration, also like some food and stuff. So that way we're going to be out there for many hours. And that goes to show. And then at all the polls, setting groups up to make sure that we're polling, and we're getting the messages out, and we're having all of the stuff displayed where they can look at it. It's all public information. There's nothing that we don't have that didn't come from a records request or strictly just finding it in the areas, and some of it filed away. So, you know, the fight is there. It is to have everybody. Mr. Williams said it best when we talked on the phone. He said, this fight is so deep and so big that everyone has to join hand in hand because it's that deep seated. So he, you know, he's well aware of the fight and what it exactly is going to take to make sure that that happens. But once they see the people outraged and coming by hundreds, it makes a difference. When you go to Washington and you show those petitions of how many people are outraged, and you have the people alongside of you that are of professional status, that are outraged, that want to see this different, it makes a tremendous difference. And then you help change the law. So that way there is more oversight where RICOs just can't be handed the way that they have been.
I just have one more comment and then I'm done. I know someone said like what can be done with if a new DA is in there. Well, in Philadelphia we had corruption like that, and they got a new DA in. He used to be a criminal defense attorney, and when he came, he literally fired, I want to say about 70% of the staff. He fired everybody. He just got rid of them. And
who did?
Even though it kind of hurt a little bit because I feel like he didn't have other DAs to replace. with the right plan, and you come in and you get rid of everybody, I think that does take care of the corruption part to the higher level because they're all just fired. And that's one of the things that he did. So that I yield. Thank everybody.
Absolutely. And then you want to make sure that, you know, the people are fully aware and following along, because a lot of the people didn't know, you know, half of these things. And we haven't even gotten through half of it. We just made a couple connections. I mean, we still have pages on top of pages. You have to remember, we did a 24-year comparison study on every single aspect of voting.
Mhm.
Because we had to make sure that we had statistically we were spot on. We had to make sure that what we were pulling previous cases, what their sentencing was, and what they're dealing with right now and what their sentencing is. Not just the gentlemen that are sitting there, but these individual gentlemen that are going in are being sent away for extremely large amount of times. Where one gentleman, 18 years old, got caught with a gun, and he has to do 16 years. 16 years. So you look at all these, you know, she has said from the very beginning that she will do this, but you have to make sure that you do it correctly. And you have to make sure that whatever crime it is that you are prosecuting, you have to know 100% that that is the correct evidence. You can't make up things along the way. You can't fill in. That's why we're seeing so much speculation. Keys, thank you for being patient. I want you to be able to get on. What do you have today, Keys?
Hello. So hey, good afternoon to everybody. I just want to make this kind of quick.
Sure.
I am a mother of 4, 3 boys, 1 girl, and the picture on my screen is my unalived son. So, 2021, April 21st, my mother had passed, and in that picture, we had just buried my mom, and then May 21st, my son was unalived. So, long story short, some points I just wanted to hit on that you guys spoke on was number one, you do have to take your emotions out when you're advocating, even though you're passionate. I was very passionate. It's my son. So, and that was getting justice for my son. A year later, somebody was arrested. And in that process, I learned a lot about the court system, is what made me interested in this case. So
Wow.
the reason I was interested in this case, because I wanted justice for my son, but I did not want the wrong person to go to jail.
Right.
And I learned the insides of the prosecution. So, and I learned where I feel like us as Black people have to be more aware of who the prosecutors and the DA are, because I had people in my community. My mom was a advocate for the community, passed it on to me. I do it with the church. My pastor, he's, you know, real big in the community and makes lots of connections. So that gave me access to the DA. But when I had that meeting with her, when they wanted to dismiss the charges, I'm just skipping over a lot of stuff, but just getting to the basics. But because I was fighting for the charges not to be dismissed. And in that meeting, I learned it was a lot more based on political things and who they want in position. And in learning some things, like we had at the time when my son was unalived, the rate was real high. and it was like 200 cases sitting on the desk of the prosecution. So they were picking and choosing what they were going to prosecute. If it was high profile, your case gets pushed back. We need a DNA process. I had to show up for civic association meetings, different things like that, where the police would be, and make different contacts to get my son's stuff processed, because of other high profile cases were pushing other cases back. So my point is, I believe in this show you guys are doing today, because people need to take their emotions out of it and pay attention to, because we don't normally get to see inside the courtroom. So I feel like this is a view where you can see and understand certain things and get knowledge of. And that being said, so you can go and vote who you want in your, who you want. If God forbid something happens to a family member or whoever, however, that you are able to go communicate with this person. And then another thing, people need to be culturally aware of cases that they are taking on. You can't just take a case if you don't have any understanding of this culture.
Absolutely.
So I just
Absolutely.
feel like it's a great job what you guys are doing. I just wanted to drop that little bit of information. I'm speaking from the seat of, and the charges are dismissed in my son's case right now, but I'd rather for them to get it right versus wasting taxpayers' money and not getting the right person. I want justice for sure, but as a person, you don't want to be dragged in court for uh you don't want to be used, or your child used, no
Absolutely.
matter where they came from, no matter what they did. And I think that's also getting mixed up in there too. It's victims in this on both sides. And I'm saying that from a mother of having 3 boys, and that could be them on trial, and speaking from a point of my child is unalived. So I'm saying that from both sides.
And that really makes a difference, and that goes to show how fair you are at heart and mind. And that shows a lot right there. And that is exactly why I said, focusing in 2015 138 murders. What about the family of the 137?
Absolutely. And that's what justice looks like, blind justice, because you're trying to get balance on both sides.
And you have to, the key word, that you said, Keys, was you wanted to make sure they got it right. And that is so important, because as a parent, I'm a mother, and I have sons as well. And I have also daughters, 2 boys, 2 girls, and they're all grown. But I look at it from the standpoint, it could be one of mine, on either side, and I'd fight the same exact way, because this is not about left and right. It's about right and wrong. And I think that it's time for the people to understand that regardless what seat is in, right is right and wrong is wrong. We are all one, trying to change these things, and it's very hard, and you're unwrapping certain things and bringing it to the people. And I can tell you that the amount of time that we have fought just digging into the history and where it's at now, it makes you question if Atlanta residents even know that over the past 2 years, their community is actually doubled. They should be feeling it. They should be seeing it. And to see how many police reports went out and how many things weren't solved. What was this one thing that was different to get into seat? And this was the very first thing that you promised to do. This was the very first thing that you focused on. This was the very thing that you had put extra positions for and extra funding for on top of the taxpayer dollars. So you have to look at it from that standpoint and say, why wasn't that backlog of current people in interest? Why wasn't the jail condition the first interest? Why wasn't all of these charges that are sitting on the desk for all of these rapes and 137 other murders there, 284 rapes, 3,224 robberies, 4,253 aggravated assaults, 6,849 motor vehicle theft. Let's really talk about it. Why were these things of no substance, but a cold case was?
From 2015.
And statutorily, they have to say 190 of these things don't even apply anymore.
Yeah.
But the RICO.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to thank you guys. I don't want to keep y'all. I just wanted to share that with you guys. But
And we
and
appreciate
also
it.
just follow the money. That's the best way to get to the bottom of it, is always what I was told. Follow the money.
And you are exactly right, because that's what led us to most of the information that we hold. This is only a little tidbit that we gave. We have a part 2, we got a part 3. We have so much information to uncover that it is just a little bit. When I tell you we've been working diligently, daily and nightly to ensure, and once we seen for sure that this is electoral poster board, this is where everyone has to get involved, higher and the people, because the people are what seats the individuals. And you coming from that standpoint is a big statement, because you lost a child. So you can sympathize with that side.
Oh, definitely. And I, like you said, somebody said, you have to put your emotions to the side. And, like 2 years straight, that's all what, I was in meetings, if I had to have a meeting or whatever, you have to go in that meeting and put all, because things are said and they don't really care about, because it's about the money and who's going to be in position. But thank you, Miss Sylvia, for, this platform, for even, allowing us to get on here, and I appreciate for just sharing a little bit of my story.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
If you need any, I know you said that there was some charges that were, dismissed. They had the wrong individual in there. But if there's anything that is ongoing with your son and you want our assistance on anything, feel free to send us an email, and we can definitely put your son onto the other ones that we are fighting for now.
Oh, definitely, I will.
And we're going live.
And I'm gonna be following anyway, because my other son is stationed in Georgia. So I'm gonna make sure he gets to get the petition and, follow a couple things he can do in person.
Yep, it's just a share. As I let everybody know, change.org ask, people for donations. It does not have to be given. You just say, no, you're donating by a share. And all you have to do is just text the petition to someone, and, that's all. It really makes a difference. And invite your son down to the call of action. We're going to be uploading the date and the time. We're going to have several of those leading all the way up into the election. And we're going to be out there with the polls. So anything that you need on your son's behalf, my team and I would be more than welcome to help get justice for your son, so you as a mother have closure.
I appreciate that so much.
No worries. You can email at any time. This is a newer channel my partner and I created. We were not going to do the YouTube thing, but we did recognize that a lot of people do need a lot of the information that we worked on and are continuously to work on so that way they can follow along. And, you know, the family is in 100% support. He created the petition, and we're going to fight for it.
Why don't you give your
Alrighty.
channel? So, because they don't know, because everybody's not on your channel right now. So,
Can you drop the link on yours?
I don't have it up. That's why I was asking.
Let me
In the chat so I can put it in the link. Because what you send me is the what do you call it? The StreamYard. I need the link for your channel.
It's gonna be in the chat.
You got it in the chat? Okay.
No, that was
I'm asking, or y'all gonna put it in the chat?
I want as soon as she put it out, I want to put it in the chat for you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
You're so welcome, and thank you for sharing your story. And again, our condolences.
Thank you, and no problem.
We're truly passionate about what we do.
Absolutely.
And
I believe it. This was a good show.
I appreciate it. And we have so much more information to drop. We're going to go live again this evening on our channel. We're going to share a little bit more of what we have and put up some more slides. But we're going to, the slide thing was a little bit iffy because we were just getting on to use that. So we're going to get a little bit more prepared for this evening. So it'll be easy just to flip through some of these documents that we have and really be able to explain to the people of, you know, what does this exactly mean? We have so many files that we have put out there.
Well, I'll be in touch.
Yeah, Candy, could you drop the link so I can put it in the chat before?
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. The other thing,
Okay, because I'm about to, because I gotta get myself out of here. I have an appointment.
okay,
Got it?
we're still going.
I just want to put the link in there so you guys can have
Yep,
it.
I'm trying. I can't exit out of. I'm on the back end, so that's how I'm trying to. Oh, let me go to your comments this way.
Hold on, let me see if I can find you guys. Hold on. Let's see. I don't have it here. I don't have it up here.
Let me see.
And they would like that QR code again up on the screen.
Yeah, let me put that up for you guys now. You guys see it? Can you see it, Sylvia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were you able to grab it from the one I gave you, Sylvia?
You put it in there now? Let me see.
Yeah, the one that I had.
No, I don't have it. I need it in the chat so I can in your chat so I can copy it in the private chat.
Got it. Hold on one second. One minute, guys. Do you still see the QR code right now?
Yeah, we still see that.
Okay. I'm just copying it. Just one second. I'm getting it for you guys. That one, Sylvia?
I don't see it. You didn't put it in. You put it in the, oh, it's on. See, I can't pull those. You got to put it in the private. It doesn't let me pull it there. I have to pick it up in the private.
Oh, I thought I did do it private. Sorry. Okay. Now it should be there. I can remove the other one.
Yeah. I don't see the private.
It's there.
It's in the private.
Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. I see. Let me. This one, right?
Yep. Thank you. I can pull it off now and copy it.
Do you want the HTTP one?
I mean, I'm
because you know we're not really used to this YouTube thing, so that's why we're going to get it all together to put some more documents up. I want to go over one of the bills. I want to go over, we have some communication letters that went back and forth from the resignation letters to letters. We want to share the music festival stuff that we have up in a file. So what we're going to do is work and put them all in one file so we can just go slide by slide. So they would be able to see those things as well.
Okay, y'all, there it is right there. So she's going to be.
Where Candy and I are going to keep continuing on. We just have 2 more things before we go live tonight that we wanted to share. I know you have an appointment, so I know you have to stop streaming on your side. So they're welcome to come over and hear the rest. And then are you coming on with us this evening, Sylvia?
I have to see because Dallas want me to do something with her, so I have to see.
Okay, well, just call me. Like always, we'll be on, and then we're going to continue ours right now.
Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. Bye.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, bye. All right, guys, that was it. That was it. Yeah, funny. This was not Marty. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. Are you coming back on your own? Yeah, I'll probably come back later on, but I don't know what time yet. What was I saying? I wasn't saying anything. You want to talk to me? What do you want to talk to me about? How about if I end this live and go on my regular back channel and I can talk to you guys from, because I don't want to mix up this live with something else. Okay, let me end this live. You guys come on my backup channel, okay? So we can talk. You saw what news, Joe? You guys signed on, y'all subscribe to my backup channel? Y'all on my backup channel? Backup channel, because this channel here, my main channel is not monetized right now, and I don't want to work for YouTube for free. Okay, so come on over, coming over to my other channel. But I gotta do something, and then I'll be on. Okay, where's the link? I didn't put the link up yet. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye. I'll be back. What's my backup channel? Infamous slide channel. Infamous slide channel. Did you copy it straight from the channel? Because I changed the name yesterday. Okay, gotta go, y'all. That's the call I've been waiting on. Bye.